Hello, 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 everyone. Let's see who is going to join us. All right, I am going to quickly go ahead and share with all of our friends in our different groups. So if you bear with me, just got to locate our live real quick. And there we are. Oop. Okay, we're going to share their group. We want the VIP because they take priority. And there we go with our team. Okay, we are officially live. They have shared it out. Feel free to share. I would appreciate finding some new friends to come hang out with us. Hey, Sherry, so glad you could join. And now we're going to get to our housekeeping very quick, like a bunny. So we're going to start with Paper Pumpkin. This is the final kit of the quarter. It's our September kit. Where did I put my sheet? Here it is. So this is our fall kit. It is called Fall for Twal. It will coordinate with the Autumn Twal. Yeah, that's it. The Autumn Twal Suite collection that you'll find in our mini catalog. I'm very well, Sherry. Thank you for asking. And I hope you are doing well as well. Beautiful day today after having such a rainy one yesterday. Anyway, back to Fall for Twal Paper Pumpkin. That will ship on September 11th. So you still have a few more days to get in. You have until the 10th to secure your spot. So today is the 7th, so just a few more days to get in on the September kit if you would like it. It will make 9 cards, each of 3 designs. They are going to have some metallic foil and rich autumnal imagery. You're going to get metallic foil details and grosgrain ribbon trim. You'll receive some pre-cut paper pieces and printed sentiment labels. The coordinating colors will be Cajun Craze, Crumb Cake, Darling Duckling, Early Espresso, Pecan Pie, and Timid Tiger. Your ink spot will be Cajun Craze, and it does coordinate with the die set she's shown here in the flyer called Circle of Seasons. It is an add-on. It's about $12, and it is unique subscribers only. You have to be a current subscriber to add those dies onto your order. And they will work perfectly with all 3 of the quarters kits. So yeah, I love my Paper Pumpkin. It does make for quick and easy crafting when you're on the go. New online exclusives did drop on September 3rd. I don't have the image here for that one, so you're seeing an old online exclusive drop. However, we got some many more online exclusives that did drop on the 3rd. So stinking cute. It does cover our different holidays: fall, Halloween, Christmas. So definitely want to go on and check that out. I do have a QR code here and a link. Either one will work. You can use your phone and capture that QR code and go take a look to see what's in the online exclusives, or you can use this here little link and that will also take you there. Again, lots to see and definitely enjoy. Also wanted to let you know about World Card Making Day. Excuse me. Stampin' Up is hosting a free crafting event on October 4th. Hey, Sue, so glad you could join. That crafting event will take place at 3 o'clock in the evening. 4 o'clock in the evening, our time, till 5. It's a 1-hour long event. Featuring one of the card kits. I didn't grab a photo of it, but I will share it in my Facebook feed. Sometime this week, I'll share what that kit looks like. It is a sweet card kit. It does have a box that comes with the card kit, and it's totally cute. And they will be featuring that for the World Card Making Day, and you do have access to order that now as of September 3rd. And you could register for the card making event, and I will share that on my Facebook page as well. And it will go out in email when I get that out this week. So if you're not on my email list yet, you definitely want to be on it. So you'll make sure you do not miss any of the good things I have to tell you about. The other thing I did want to also let you know about is next week, my friend Cindy and I will be kicking off our Christmas card series. Cindy from the Stampin' the Wild Way, her and I have teamed up and we are doing a Christmas card series. We'll each be featuring 2 cards each week, with hopes to inspire you for your Christmas card making and have you all wrapped up and ready to relax and enjoy your holidays all well ahead of the time, so you're not scrambling and pulling your hair out at Christmas. We don't want that. So her and I are going to be putting out some videos here coming up starting, like I said, next week. So yeah, it's going to be fun. So definitely keep your eyes posted. All right, so now we are going to go ahead and get into what we're working on today. So today is all about Halloween. We are featuring the Spooky Halloween Suite. This is a really adorable suite. I don't typically do Halloween just because it's not a big thing. I don't have children here. I don't have any grandkids coming for trick-or-treats. All of my nieces and nephews have grown up, and none of my great nieces and nephews are into the holiday anymore either. They've actually outgrown that. So anywho, this one I got sucked in as soon as I saw it. It was just too cute. And this little dog, I know it's supposed to be a little dog, but it kind of reminds me of Boo Boo Bear. I don't know. Who else looks at this and sees Boo Boo Bear? Anybody, or is it just me? Am I having like a flashback to my childhood with the picnic basket? Anyway, I think he looks like Boo Boo Bear, but I know he's a dog. And then we have the cute little witchy cat. So cute. Love this set. And the whole suite, you get the stamp set, of course, with the dies. So you have this full bundle. And look at these awesome dies. I'm going to show you something really cool with this die here. It looks like Tucker. Well, I wouldn't say it looks like Tucker, but check out this gorgeous ribbon. It's in Petunia Pop with this iridescent sheen to it. I love this ribbon, and it's so soft. Easy to tie bows with. We are going to use that tonight because it's gorgeous. And then, of course, these puppy stickers. These are sparkly stars. They come white, Petunia Pop, and black. Love them. So beautiful. And then this cool paper. The paper is very cool. I love the colors. Oops. Sorry, didn't mean to jiggle the camera. Not my intention to make anybody motion sick today. So cool. You get 2 sheets of each. So first off, these are the pieces I have already chopped up and have been using. But you have this scene piece. So you have your scene. You can cut these into card fronts. This would make a great piece for if you had kids or grands and you were doing your scrapbooking for Halloween. This would be a great half sheet. Then, of course, this one of my favorites, and I did use this today with all the candies. And then we have this piece. Then we have all the spooky windows with a brick front. Then we have this little hash pattern. Then we have another fun piece that has all these little frames and these patterns. And then if you are a fan of fussy cutting, you have all kinds of critters here. You got the pelican. You got the piggy costume, in costume, the bear in costume, a little bird in costume. Look how cute those are. Again, just simple fussy cutting, and you could use those in a card very easily. I personally am not a fan of fussy cutting, so I'll probably be more using the paper pumpkin. Oh my goodness, pumpkin pie side. But who knows? You never know. I might get a little frisky and do some paper fussy cutting. But the best one is right back here. You get 2 sheets of this. And these are die cuts that you can just pop out. Totally love this. You could really create some fun cards or paper scrapbooks using these. I love this. So anyway, they're nice and big. And you could just go to town. All right. We are ready to get started on tonight's cards. Because Lord knows I had fun creating them. Sticking everything together. All right. Paper all back together. We're good there. Okay. Hopefully I don't lose my Baby Boss plates tonight. We're going to try really hard not to misplace anything. We're going to keep everything easily seen. Okay. Quick drink. And we're going to show you what we're making tonight. So first up, I made a pocket card. So this little pocket card, look at that little bat. Is he not the cutest little thing? So you just grab that bat and you pull your card out of the pocket. How cute is that? Sweet, sweet, sweet. All right, and then we have our Happy Halloween, and that just inserts right back in there. But is that not the cutest little pull tab? Love it. All right, next up is our spooky little kitty witch. Isn't she cute? Look at that beautiful ribbon with that shimmer. Love it. And she says, don't worry, eat sweets. I'm going to show you how we made her. We have our little puffy stars. Easy peasy. And then our final card features our little haunted house with our bats. We have some more of those puffy stars. And it says boo. And that boo die, I will show you where that comes from when we get to this card. All right, so we're going to set those aside for just a minute. And we're going to pull in what we need for our pocket card. So we're going to start with our pocket card. And we're just going to set those right up here so I can see what I did. So we start with a piece of the Designer Series paper, and I cut this at 9 inches by 6 inches. So 9 by 6. And we scored it at, on the long side, I did a 1/2 inch. And then the other 2 score lines are 2 1/4 and 6 1/2. Okay, so 2 1/4 and 6 1/2. So now we need our bone folder. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to fold on all of our score lines. And we're going to burnish those. And then our 1/2 inch. All right, now we need our snips. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come in and just take a little bit of a miter right there on the center one. And now I'm going to get rid of these end tabs. We don't need these. All they're doing is getting in our way. So we're going to trim those off. And we're done with those. So these can go into our little trash heap. Oh, trash can here. There we go. Next, we want our adhesive. Oh, before we do that, I'm getting ahead of myself. I do have my 1 7/8 punch. Let's see if I can get that. There we go. 1 7/8 is our punch. And we are going to take a little bit of a bite out of this panel here. So we're going to find our center. I don't want a big bite, just a little bite. All right, now we can get our adhesive. And I think this, it does. So this is our longer one. So we're just going to add our adhesive along this edge. And then along here. Now, here would be a great place to use some tear tape. But I didn't bring that over here. So we're just going to use our adhesive. And then this flap goes down. This flap comes down over it. Adhere. And then fold up that flap. So now we have our pocket. Okay. Next, I have a piece of petunia pop. I have a piece of basic white. Now the petunia pop is 5 3/8 tall. So 5 3/8 by 4 inches wide. My basic white is 4 7/8 by 3.5. And that's going to layer like so. But before we layer that, got to do a couple things. First, we need our little cushion here. And we are gonna stamp Happy Halloween. And we need a Memento Black. And we're gonna go ahead and ink that up. Now I have that tab, so you want to make sure we're going down low enough so that we're not going to hit that. So we're going to come down about right about here, almost dead center. So we want to make sure we have enough room for that tab, and we don't want to cover up Happy Halloween. Okay. Next, I have a 1/2 inch strip of the Designer Series paper. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of adhesive along this bottom. We're just going to trim that off. Now, don't throw this away. We're going to use this. So we're going to set that aside for a minute. All right, now we can go ahead. Well, not yet. We're still got to make our tab before we can adhere that to our base piece there. So we're going to set this aside now. And we're going to do our tab. I have two pieces of cardstock. I have a paper pumpkin. I have paper pumpkin on my mind now, and I can't get it off. Pumpkin pie, just a scrap, and a piece of scrap basic black. Now, I'm going to bring that die in. It's this one here. And you'll see there's this little bat in there. Well, that bat is going to cut. It's going to score here, and then it's going to cut this shape, and it's going to cut out this little bat, and it's going to create a tab. And I'll show you what I mean. We need our baby boss. Oh, I got to do something different with this camera because now I'm hitting it before it was out of the way. Now, however, I changed it a little bit, and now I'm hitting it. So we got to send it back to the way it was. All right, so that goes on like so. And we run it through. It's so cute. All right, I need my scissors because it's sticking. There we go. Now, you'll see how this pops that die, or that die cut up. So our bat is now popped up. And now we fold on those score lines. And use our bone folder to get them like so. So that creates our little tab. Okay. So now I'm going to take some adhesive here. Now bring back our basic white piece. And that just sits like so. So now we have our tab on here. This is our little pull tab. And you could leave it just like that, and it's perfectly fine. But I wanted my bat to be black. I didn't want an orange pumpkin pie bat. So we're going to cut that bat out again. So this time I just need this piece here. So I'm going to take this and we're going to run it through like this. So set that aside again, get this out of the way, bring back the baby boss. Got our plates. Okay, we want to make sure we have our bat in position. And through the baby bus we go. And there it is. We have our little bat. He's so cute. I say that tongue in cheek because he is cute on paper, but a real bat will leave me running for my life. I completely am petrified of a bat. And I even nearly capsized a boat one time with my husband and some friends. We were out fishing. It was getting dusk. The bats came out and I felt one brush my hair and I lost my ever loving mind. And all I could do is grab my husband's shirt, put it over my head, and cry until they got me back to shore. Yeah, that was a memorable moment. Surprised the man married me. All right, now we need a glue dot. Now we're just going to grab a little glue dot right there. Okay, well, I'll tell Tucker. Right now, he's downstairs with Dad making dinner. Okay. So now we just line up our little bat. Like so. So now we have a black bat. Pull tab. Is he not the cutest? I mean, really. Okay, now we can go ahead and add this to our petunia pop layer. Oop, I knew that was going to happen. I brought one over. Put that in our little trash. We have a new one. These are so easy to refill. Come in these little packages. You let it out. There we go. And then that just lays on these pins. Like so. Pop the cover back on. And you're ready to continue. And we're just going to get that started. There we go. Now, bring our petunia pop piece back in. And we're going to center that like so. And our little bat hangs over, so he makes a perfect little pull tab. So now our card fits like so. Okay, where is my, well, I'm gonna have to grab another piece of basic white, so bear with me because it looks like I did not grab that. Where did I put it? We're just gonna bring the gracious. Okay. I don't remember the size of this. So let's see if we can't figure it out. Let's see. That looks about goes there. So that would be right about here. So 1.5. Yeah, I think 1.5 by 2. Let's see if we can't get this figured out. By 2.25. 1.5 by 2.25. So let's see. 2.25 by 1.5. Okay. And I did not want to do that. There we go. Definitely going to have to fix this setup. Okay. Next, we want our little cushion. And we want no tricks, all treats. No tricks, all treats. And we want our granny apple green. We're not done yet. We still have to do our little monster to put on our inside piece, but I've got him all set, so you do not have to watch me color him in, because I knew that would take way too long. So we're going to go towards the bottom here. No tricks, all treats. Close that up. Then we want our little bats. We have our little flying bats. And we want our memento black. And we're just going to fly them little bats right over the top. Like so. All right. Set that aside. Bring in our adhesive. Okay. This is going to go right about there. Then that little piece of paper we saved, we're going to add adhesive across that. And that gonna run right along the bottom there. Then those sweet stars we have. Oh, hey, Lori. So glad you could join. Missed you, girl. All right. Now we're just going to take our little stars, these little poofy stars. We're going to put one on each end there. And then we're going to add one right in here. All right. Like I said, I'm not typically your Halloween girl, but this sweet completely smacked me upside the head and said I had to have it. It was just too cute to pass up. Just saying. Just saying. All right. Next, I did stamp. Like I said, I did this all ahead because I didn't want to have to make you sit here watching me stamp, color, cut. So here's my little, I'm sorry. He still looks like Boo Boo Bear to me. I expect him to say, hey, Boo, yeah. Oh my gosh, now I forgot. It's his buddy's name, but he's Boo Boo Bear, even though he's a dog. All right, so we need our card back again. We got to pull that out. All right, so now we're just going to take some adhesive. Yogi Bear. That's it. I expect Yogi Bear to be hollered out. For his little buddy. Hey, Boo Boo. And there we go. Maybe not so much the way he's colored, but if you see him here on the package, that's Boo Boo Bear. Sorry, it just is. I know it's supposed to be dog, but cannot help it. And that finishes card number 1. That is your pocket fold card. I love the candy paper too, Lori. So stinking cute. The whole pack of paper is stinking cute, though, I will say. Just fun paper to play with, and it's too cute for words. All right, so there is our first card. Second card coming straight up, and that's our little kitty. Don't worry, eat sweets, because, well, you know, we all got to have a few sweets in our life. All right, so for this card, we have our standard 11 by 4 1/4 basic black card base, scored at 5 1/2. And we're going to go ahead and find our bone folder in this mess right here. And we're going to fold on that score line. And we shall burnish it down. Just like so. Then I have a piece of basic white that is 5 1/4, by 4. And that is for the inside of our card. And we're going to go ahead and we shall glue that down. Okay. Next up, I have some designer series paper. I have 2 pieces from that collection. I have this one that measures 1 1/2 inches by 5. And this piece that measures 3 3/4 by 2. And we're going to go ahead and add our adhesive to both of these and adhere them to the front of our card. And that really is 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. I did misspeak on that being 5. It's 5 1/4. So the Petunia Pop designer series paper is 5 1/4 by 1 1/2. And then the basic gray piece of DSP is 2 inches by 3 1/2. And we're going to go ahead and add our adhesive. And this is going to go Like, that looks pretty good. Like so. All right. Next, I am going to bring in my Take Your Pick tool that has, we have some different attachments for our Take Your Pick tool. One of them being the craft kit that does have a craft knife with it. And I am going to use that to just put a little slit right here in the fold of our card. And the reason for that is so we can do our ribbon. So we are going to thread our ribbon through that. So I just want to make sure we have it just wide enough to get our ribbon through. And that should be good. Yeah, maybe just a smidge. There we go. That should do it. Clean that up. There we go. That should be good. All right. Put our cover on because we don't want any injuries because that is a sharp, 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 sharp knife. Okay. So next, I have, now I know where that other piece of weight went. Went in the wrong bucket. That's okay. I have a scrap piece of basic white. We do need our memento and our little witchy poo. And our cushion. Again, using photopolymer stamps, you do want to have a nice cushion. It does help you get a nice, crisp, clean stamped image. And that's what we're going for. So we're going to go ahead and stamp her like so. Oh, I did not mean to hit the camera. Goodness gracious, definitely proving my point. I do need to fix the setup. This is not going to work. I am too close. Okay, there we have that. Quick swig. Okay. I do have some blends here. And I was going to tell you what I colored Boo Boo Bear with. I used Granny Apple Green. I used the light pumpkin pie for his little eye patch. He's wearing Petunia Pop. And then his lollipop is Darling Duckling and Petunia Pop. So those are the colors used for my Boo Boo Bear dog. And now for the witch, she is colored using Petunia Pop for her outfit. She's got Darling Duckling stripes and part of her muzzle. And then her face is done in pumpkin pie. And I used the color lifter on her face just to lighten things up from the pumpkin pie. But again, through the magic of television, I'm not going to make you watch me color her in or cut her out. She's already done just for you. So we'll set that aside, set this aside, and then we do have to cut out our little label. Oh, no, we don't. I did that already. Oh, I didn't even realize I did that. All right. Well, I cut out her label, and that comes from one of the other Halloween sets. This is the Fright Night dies. You get these 2 labels. I used the smallest one. Check out that fun little label. You get a spider, you get the 3 spider webs, you get Eek and Boo. So we can get some dimensionals. And we're going to pop this onto our card front. All right. Do I have? Well, I got ink here somewhere. All right, but we're going to put this down like so. And then our little kitty, she gets a couple dimensionals. She's going to be popped up. And she goes right about there. Next, I have a 1/2 inch piece of basic white, and we need a cushion, and we need Don't Worry, Eat Sweets, and Memento Black. And this is a super long, I shouldn't say super long, but it's a long sentiment, long stamp, but you have 2 options here, or actually 3. You could leave it long. You can cut the stamp apart, or you can just cut the words apart once it's already stamped, which is what we're going to do. So we are going to trim and then trim. That goes in the garbage. Up that side. And we need dimensionals. So dimensional on this side. Adhesive on this side. And that going right under her feet. And then Sweets, Eat Sweets gets a dimensional on this end. And adhesive on that end. That goes under like so. Bring back our adorable stars. They're so pretty, sparkly, because we all like sparkly things. And we are going to get our scissors. We're going to take a nice black one, stick it right here between sentiment pieces. And then we're going to take the petunia pop. And that's going to go there. And then we want a little white one to go next to that right there. And next we need our ribbon. Remember, we made that little slit to run our ribbon through. And honestly, you could call this card done if you wanted to, but love that ribbon, so I was determined I was using it on this card. So we did. We made it work. So we need our ribbon. And we're just going to pop it. See if I can't do this now that there's glare and I can't see a darn thing. Let's try this. Oh, for the love. I can't see a darn thing. There it is, I think. Yep, there it is. Okay. We got it now. Oof. So now we run this ribbon all the way down. There we go. And I like to have enough. There we go. Trying to get things straight here. There we go. Okay. Doing it without my third hand is not going to work. We're going to bring in our tweezers. Did it earlier without them, but tonight it's not going to work. Okay, now we can just trim our tails, and that finishes our first or second card. Forget how many cards we've got here. We're on number 2. Number 3 coming straight up. And that one's going to go pretty quickly. Okay, it's our boo card. So this one is our haunted boo card with a little haunted house. And he says boo. And he's so cute. And again, super simple. I kept this one very, very quick. So we have our basic black 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. We're going to fold on that square line. And of course, as always, furnish with a bone folder to make a nice crisp edge. I have a piece of basic white, 5.5 by, or 5 1/4 by 4 for the inside of our card. And we're going to go ahead and add our adhesive and place that on the inside. So we are done with that. Okay. Next up, I have a piece of that beautiful designer series paper, and we're using gray side up. And we're going to add our adhesive. This is 5 1/4 by 4. And that goes right on our card base like so. Next, I have a piece of petunia pop. It is 1.5 inches wide by 5 1/4 inches long. And we're going to go ahead and add our adhesive to this. And that's going to go to the far left, leaving about a 1/4 inch gap of the basic gray showing. Okay. Next, I have the largest stitched circle from the Stitched Shapes dies. And we're going to add dimensionals to that. And that's cut from some basic white. And that's going to go on our card right about there. Next, I have die cut my haunted house. For this, I'm going to need some mini dimensionals. And I'm going to place those pretty strategically so that they don't show. That space is big enough to accommodate. That one. Just looking for locations that are big enough that they're not going to show. That would be a good spot right there. I mean, put one down here as well. All right. I think that should do it. And we're going to go ahead, peel those backings. Ooh. Didn't want to come off. Okay, and that's going to go on like so. Next, I've cut 2 of the bats, and those are, you cut 2 all in one. It's 2 dies attached. It's 1 die, I should say, that cuts 2 bats. And we're going to use our glue dots for them. So bat 1, he'll go here. And bat 2, he's going to be flying in from the corner. And then I got my Boo die. And that is from that other Fright Night dies. I think it's called Fright Night. I don't know where I stuck them now. I'm going to use just a little bit of liquid adhesive. And again, just like everything else, just strategically placed so it doesn't get too glippy, gloppy, and icky. And then, oh, it's going to go down. Son of a biscuit. Like so. Then, to finish it off, our poofy stars. We need our poofy stars and the black ones to be exact. So I'm going to use a medium poofy star down here. And then we're going to use a large one and a small one. And that finishes our final card. And I only want 1 minute over. Sorry about that. I was trying to make it in under the 1 hour mark, but oh my goodness. These stars do not want to go back in their package. They want to be free. Well, thank you, Sherry. I'm glad you like them. All right, we'll do a real quick recap of what we did. So tonight we did Boo with our haunted house. We had Don't Worry, Eat Sweets with our little kitty. And then our original card was our little pocket card. Oop. I can get it up. There's our pocket. No tricks, all treats. Well, thank you. You have a great night yourself. Oh, thanks, Lori. I'm glad you like those bats. I thought that was kind of cool. I had them like flying in. Thank you. I'm glad you liked them. Lori says they're super cute cards tonight. I thought so. Like I said, this whole set totally sucked me in. Like I said, I usually can resist Halloween just because it's just not a big thing for us here. Everybody's pretty much outgrown it. But these just sold me. They're too cute. Too cute. All right, my friends, this is all I got for you tonight, and I appreciate you coming to hang out with me on this fine Sunday evening. I wish you all a fabulous rest of your evening and an even better week ahead, and I will see you next week, God willing. Have a beautiful week, my friends. All right, guys. Bye for now.